I made this print painting with only 2 layers, but I was inspired. Hello Gelli fans! While I'm unpacking my brand new Gelli plate, I'll explain what the plan is for today. This is a painting by Judith Bergerson, whom I am a huge fan of, and I actually purchased a few of her works. I'm studying them from time to time, and of course I have asked her if it was okay to do a video inspired by her work. I will link her website in my info box below this video. I don't want to copy her style, but try my own techniques and hopefully achieve similar results and find my own style this way. So, underneath the gel plate, I put this sheet that is the same size as my printing paper. And I have to place the gel plate exactly in the middle of it, so that I will have a nice clean frame around it. So no dirty painting today. Like you know me, I will try to keep my hands clean, as for once I want to get a clean print. Oh, this is so exciting. The first time I'm using this plate. I will be printing with my favorite paints by Golden, the open series that is slow drying. I also love their color shades, so I hardly ever mix but take the original color. I start with a transparent brown iron oxide. It is very transparent and I need that for what I'm doing today. I only need 3 little drops. I roll this out for quite a while as I don't want to have so many traces of the Brayer, which will be different for the second layer. I'm placing on a plastic bag which I have crumbled before, which gives nicer effects than the cling film, I think, but that's only my preference. I press it on the plate, but not in all places as strongly as in others. Taking off the bag carefully, and you can see the effect on the plate, though not so obvious as this is a transparent color, but you'll see it in the print. Now I want to achieve a sort of graphic design that contrasts with the organic design of the plastic foil. This is what I think Judy has done so masterly in her works. What comes in handy is that I'm very addicted to printing one thing, cardboard boxes. This is one, I think it was for tomatoes, and it has a very interesting shape and even some round spaces. So I'm using it to give some angled structure. I'm using the outside as it has a sticker that will show, and I might even get some of those words here. I don't press it on very hard, as I don't want blank spaces that are too large. But I'm taking care that I press the rims and the whole surrounding edges a little more. When I take it off, I'm actually surprised that it is just what I wanted, trying the first time. You can tell where the sticker was, but no letters or words appeared. But that doesn't matter. Now I am registering the paper at the bottom of the page, and I do that very carefully and slowly. The gel plate doesn't move because I put it directly on the paper underneath, so it sticks. Having made sure my fingers are clean, I give a light but even pressure everywhere and let it sit for a few minutes. This is always the best moment, pulling the print and finding that it has printed just the way I wanted it. You've got the plastic foil design, the shape of the cardboard box, and even some of the cardboard horizontal structures. This will show nicer even later. Now I need something organic like a plant for the second layer. As it is still early in spring, my favorite printing plants haven't grown yet, so I'm taking these metal flowers that have quite a cool design. Normally I don't like artificial flower designs, but these are quite nice. I'm working with the phthalo blue, Golden Open 2, also a transparent color, and I use even less amount of paint, and I'm trying to make a sort of a design with the Brayer that comes automatically if you don't brayer it out evenly, because that will show later as my design. And I'm just one of those weed metal thingies I'm pressing in and then putting it to another place. So you will see how that works out. And then I'm coming in with the Deli paper. In German it's the Butterbrotpapier. And it's just regular Deli paper. And I have to go into those little holes between the leaves for them to show. And everything that's outside, don't press it too much on the gel plate, because you see these little holes and other textures. Look on the left side, this texture that comes up. That is typical of the Deli paper. You see here, I've made this texture on both sides, and I have no idea how to do that. If you want to do that, it just comes up when you're not trying to achieve it. So this is a very light print, and that's also just what I wanted to go over the brown print. And I'm registering that paper carefully again, rubbing on it, leaving it sit for a few minutes. And voila, this is what the combined print looks like now. There is so much to see in it, and that was really what I wanted, because it inspires me to work this out further. And I'm excited this worked on the first trial. And remember, you cannot get this if you use opaque colors. That would be a total different look. And if I had used an opaque blue, that would have knocked back the brown so far that you hardly would even notice it. So use transparent layers. So I'm starting to work out with Caran white pencil. And by the way, all materials that I use in this video are listed below in the info box. So what I'm doing with the pencils is basically that I'm working out shadows and total surroundings of these plant things. And I'm trying to go with the design of that the Brayer and the cardboard box gave me. So there's a lot of squares and lines that I can follow. And I'm always trying to, every square has its own opacity of colors, I should say. Like here, I'm making it quite dark, but only in the areas that surround the white box, if you know what I mean. And those little stripes that I am enhancing by giving them shadows, those are the patterns that the cling foil, the plastic bag gave me. And it looks very organic because it's just so many different folds and shapes that come to life here. So it looks a little bit like the undergrowth, the weed behind this. And you see this line that the Brayer gave me? I'm also working this out as a design line. And again, I want to stress that I'm not trying to copy Judith Bergerson's style. And in fact, I have no idea how she works on her paintings. This is just what I would do. And she just inspires me, and I would never copy her, not because I wouldn't, just because I'm not learning from it. You can just look at a picture and you make up your own way how to build it, and you know it's gonna come out totally different from what inspired you. And that's how you find your own style. And thank you, Judy, for all this inspiration you gave me. And here are those little balls that came out of that cardboard. And they're probably tomatoes, as it was a tomato box. And I'm giving them shadows, but not to make them round as balls, but to make them look like they're underneath. Now this is a Prussian blue, but after a while I think that is too light. And I'm going on to work with the umber. That's a burnt umber. My favorite pencils, Polychromos. And so the blue I will be working on with the dark indigo a little later. And all this time I'm trying not to do too much, because it's easy to overwork a painting and lose the print feel from the original printing phase. So I'm trying not to do too much, just enhancing highlights here and placing shadows. And I've done this so often that I already have a feeling how far to go. If you just practice a lot, you will get that feeling for it too. And in between, I just step back and look at the whole thing, see how it develops. Sometimes I have to make a pause for a day, then look at it again. Working some more on the balls here and connecting them with the plastic textures. So the problem with the transparent colors is that you don't get a lot of contrast, and this is why I have to work so much on this one. But that's fine. The more to fiddle, the happier I am. At some point I usually decide that I want like a center of attention. But in this case, there are so many interesting parts, I just ignore that urge I have to make a center of attention. Here, and only in this square, I'm making different shadows, not cast shadows, but what are they called? The own body shadows. But only in this square, to be different from the next. Like it ends up there. Oh no, it doesn't end up there. I'm going on with the shadows. But I'm also going to emphasize the end of that square there. And I'm filling in the plant with a light ochre. Now we're coming to this exciting part that I showed you after the printing. This texture is just so amazing. First I thought it was the cardboard, but no, it's something that the deli paper does. If you don't work on it too much and you just let it sit slightly without pressing it down and then move it off to the side. And I can't tell you anymore. Like I said, it only happens accidentally. Happy accidentally. So that field where the sticker was is really bright. So I have to think about how I change that. First I thought maybe I should make a photo transfer and, I don't know, print my mother in this frame or so. But then I thought, oh no, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to stick with the plant thingies. So while I'm thinking about that, I'm working out more and more of these cling film plastic bag textures. And this is the other side where there's also this amazing texture coming up, and it mingles with the tomato balls, and it has this kind of movement, like they're flying to the right. So I'm trying to enhance that a little bit. So I guess the title of this painting is The Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. And no, I'm not going to paint them red. Here on the left, you can see the rim is a little misregistered, if that is even an English word. And it's just exactly the little misregistration that is interesting. And I'm not sorry about that. It adds to the interest. These balls I'm giving a shadow to the right side and underneath, because the light in my painting is always coming from the top left. And so, not like the other ones on the right side, these are real balls above and not underneath the plants. And in the center, that plant, the stem, I'm turning into blue to make a distinction between the square and the surroundings. Here I'm making the decision that I don't like what I did up there at all. And I think it was not the ochre, it was just the body shadow that I made. So I'm erasing that and coming in again with the light ochre. That's fine. I want to look at more abstract and not natural. Just a very thin cast shadow. Now I'm working on the plant on the left. A lot of these petals didn't really show. But again, I'm trying not to do too much. Up here there's a shape that is also a Deli paper shape, and it looks like a leaf. So I'm showing you how it looks like now. This is it now. And I'm not happy because I don't have enough contrast. And if I look at Judy's painting again, there's the light coming in from behind, which I always love about her paintings. So I'm trying to do something like that, working with different fine liners. That was the fabric marker, which has almost dried out. So I'm using a chalk marker here. But I don't want that to be opaque. I just want to see the leaves of that plant a little more. Or are they blossoms? And note how I'm working with the chalk master. I'm painting a little bit and then I'm dabbing it off with my fingers to make it even a little less opaque. This is a very strong white liner. And I use it just on the stems and flowers in the middle section. And now I've switched to my trusty Jelly Roll fine liner, which has a finer tip and is very opaque. This is actually the only one that's working nicely. The one before, it just drops off blobs of white paint, which annoys me a lot. Maybe they're all a little old. And some more highlights on those balls. Little strings that are going around it. Maybe they're scars. The more I go down on the stem, the less fine liner I use, but then again, in the other square beneath it, I'm using it again. And also whitening those leaves that are inside the light box. And you can tell that this is not the center of attention anymore, because I made the other plants a little whiter. So I'm going on with that. This time with the plant on the right side. Not filling it in completely, but only giving highlights to the left side. And a lovely texture highlighting that as well. Now this is what I meant before looking at Judy's painting. You can tell where the light comes through the trees or bushes. And I'm trying to do something like that. Some negative painting. This is also a matter of practicing, because you have to imagine the fillings in between the tree or bush structure. But that comes with practice. It gets quite easy if you do that a lot. And by doing this, only in certain areas, it also strengthens the structure that I wanted to show. It strengthens the shapes, how they are different. I get more and more contrast. And this is really what makes paintings interesting. Contrast. Contrast between flowers and tree shapes, contrast between transparent and opaque paint. In some place this will actually ruin the print feel, but that's also contrast between print feeling and opaque painting. And speaking of painting, of course you can do all this with a brush and some acrylic paint. I just didn't feel like it today. And sometimes I like drawing more than painting. This is my fabric white liner again. If you want to be very transparent, then just use an old failing fabric marker. I gotta get some new ones. Trying to balance the composition by making some other parts white down there. And this looks quite beautiful already. I'm almost done. Just enhancing some more of those cardboard shapes here. I want this flower head to show a little more, so I'm giving it some highlights. So this is really done, except for this one plant that didn't really show there. And I'm squeezing out my fabric marker, the rest of the paint. And then this is it. It's done. What do you think? I'm very happy that it looks very much like my own style. And at the same time, I have to thank Judy for the inspiration in general. And I want to ask you, I've done some drawings of her drawings. I exactly copied them just to learn drawing more. Would you be interested in seeing that video? Then I would make another Judith Bergerson special. I'll see you next week. Bye.